There's a reason you feel restless in times of comfort. It's the pull of something ancient, something wired into your marrow. You watch men in history charging into battle, standing alone against mobs, choosing honor over life itself, and wonder, what did they know that I've forgotten? Otto Weininger didn't sugarcoat it. Men are called to glory, to the sharp edge of risk, to the possibility of being remembered. You weren't made to just survive. You were made to be witnessed by your brothers, your enemies, your own conscience. But look at how you're taught now. You're warned against danger, told to stay safe, keep your head down, blend in, never make waves. The word glory is a joke, something for movies and lost centuries. The men around you have stopped dreaming of conquest or sacrifice. They chase status, money, comfort, but not meaning. And the world feels smaller for it, less vital, more suffocating. Every screen, every authority, every well-meaning voice wants you to trade your hunger for glory for the promise of safety. Weininger saw it, the split not just between men and women, but within yourself. There is a drive that pushes you toward danger, even death, if it means you mattered, if you made your mark, if you proved even once that you were alive and not just a shadow among shadows. This is not stupidity or recklessness. It's the call to transcend, to die well rather than live small. And yet, everywhere you turn, the feminine principle calls you back. It's the logic of safety, of preservation, of keeping close to the fire, of protecting the body, the hearth, the fragile piece of the tribe. Women feel it in their bones. To risk all is insanity. To lose what you have, to gamble with safety, is to betray everything evolution built them for. It's not cowardice, it's not weakness, it's nature. But you, as a man, carry a double burden. The world wants your courage but demands your caution. You are told to fight, but punished for losing. You're called to build, but scolded for standing too tall. Every day you're offered two roads, one paved with risk and memory, the other with quiet comfort and forgettable days. The tension never leaves you. So here's the truth. You are not here to play it safe. Safety is a baseline, not a destiny. Your blood remembers. Your hands itch for something heavy to hold. A sword, a standard, a truth worth dying for. You can feel the lie in a life spent hiding, apologizing, surviving instead of living. Glory is the enemy of safety, but it's also the only thing that sets you apart from the crowd. The men you remember weren't careful. They were necessary. And in a world drowning in comfort, that necessity, the willingness to face death for something greater, may be the only real freedom left. It's not enough to call it nature and move on. Otto Weininger pressed deeper, unafraid to name the chasm between what drives a man and what secures a woman. Your entire life is shaped by these diverging instincts. Look at yourself honestly. When have you ever felt truly alive? On the edge of risk, at the moment of defiance, standing in the fire where you could lose it all but prove something no one can take away. That's glory. That's the masculine axis, the secret current that draws men into legend, not comfort. Now compare it to the other pull, the pressure to keep safe, to stay out of harm's way, to avoid embarrassment, risk, or pain. That voice isn't only external. You hear it from your mother, your girlfriend, your boss, your own whispering mind after a hard fall. It's the feminine voice, inside and out, telling you to value the body above the legacy, to make your choices for survival, not for greatness. Society, Weininger saw, is the battleground where these two logics fight it out. And modern society is rigged against the man's drive for glory. Schools, workplaces, relationships, every institution now flatters the logic of safety. You're encouraged to play small, fit in, Build consensus. Be responsible. They hand you scripts full of warnings. Don't offend. Don't try too hard. Don't take the shot if you might miss. Everything that makes a man memorable is treated as a liability. Notice how quickly glory is pathologized. The boy who dreams big is immature. The man who speaks his mind is toxic. The fighter is dangerous. But the man who fades into the background, who never pushes, never risks, never disrupts, he is well adjusted. He is, in the eyes of the new order, a success. But to you, if you're honest, he's invisible. And the women in your life, they're not the villains here, but they are the enforcers. Safety is their ancestral currency. They want men who are steady, secure, predictable, until the world crumbles, and then suddenly they crave the man who stands alone, who fights when everyone else ducks, who'd rather be remembered for losing than forgotten for winning nothing. This paradox will never leave you. It is the source of every tension in romance, in brotherhood, in your own sense of self. Weininger warned, when men are raised to seek only safety, they become less than men. You weren't designed to nest. You weren't made to optimize comfort. You're built to suffer for a cause, to bleed for a principle, to stand out so sharply that your life casts a shadow long after you're gone. That's why you chafe under mediocrity. That's why you feel sick after folding to the logic of just get through the day. You know glory when you see it, and you know what's lost when you trade it for safety. You're told there's nothing heroic left to die for. That glory is just fantasy. That risk is for fools. That every urge to rise above the ordinary is an adolescent phase you'll grow out of if you're smart. But look around. Is the world better for it? Otto Weininger warned what would happen when the masculine drive for glory was pathologized, sedated, replaced with endless comfort and 1,000 micro-anxieties. He saw what you feel now, an undercurrent of dissatisfaction in every safe, well-adjusted man. You wake up, not hungry for battle, but resigned to another day of blending in. You cross off tasks, keep your head down, avoid conflict, play by rules designed to keep you invisible. There are no dragons left, they say, but somehow your chest is heavy. Your mind races at night. You sense you were meant to be tested, to matter, to chase something beyond your own survival. Instead, you settle for routine. You get rewarded for being safe and punished, sometimes ruthlessly, for stepping out of line. Every instinct you have for challenge and conquest is dulled from the moment you can walk. Boys are taught not to fight, not to climb too high, not to speak out of turn, not to take risks. Glory becomes a dirty word. Heroism is replaced by self-care. The man who dares to go his own way is quietly shamed, gently medicated, or simply left out of the picture. And in this vacuum, you grow restless. You chase artificial struggles, arguments online, video games, high-intensity workouts, but none of it sticks. None of it fills the ache. It's no accident. The world runs more smoothly when men obey, when they want only what is given, when they never ask for more than comfort and a salary, when they accept that safety is their highest purpose. But the cost is staggering. Generations of men dying with their music still in them, never knowing what it's like to be hated for being right, never feeling their blood rise in the face of danger, never carving their initials into the stone of history. You pay for safety with your edge, with every maybe later, every unspoken word, every adventure you cancel for the sake of calm. You grow soft, and softness does not satisfy. You can have everything the world tells you to want, stability, approval, predictable pleasures, and still lie awake with the unshakable sense that you're missing the point of being alive. Women, meanwhile, feel it too. They want you safe until they don't. They want to trust your steadiness, but they crave your wildness, your willingness to step outside the lines, to be the man who says no to comfort in the name of something larger. They test you for it, sometimes unknowingly. They feel safer when you have the guts to risk safety itself. You want to believe it's all decided in the grand moments, battlefields, ultimatums, do-or-die drama. But Otto Weininger would remind you that most men never see those big cinematic crossroads. Your life is decided in the small daily acts. That's where your allegiance is revealed, not with banners and anthems, but in the moments you stand up or bow down when nobody's watching. Every day you wake, you're handed the same test. Will you play it safe or step towards something that scares you? Will you speak a hard truth or smooth it over for the sake of peace? Will you set your own terms or let someone else, often someone softer, more risk-averse, dictate what's possible for you? The truth is, safety is addictive. Every time you pick the easy route, the path of least resistance, your muscle for glory atrophies a little more. That's why comfort never truly satisfies. It doesn't build memory, doesn't leave a mark, doesn't forge a legacy. Watch how this plays out in your routine. Maybe you're in a relationship where silence is easier than honesty. Maybe at work, you sit on your ideas, never risking embarrassment or rejection. Maybe you stay quiet with your friends, go along to get along, nod when you want to roar. This is how safety becomes your default, not by dramatic failure, but by 1,000 tiny retreats. But the road to glory is always open, even if you've spent years ignoring it. It starts small. You choose to endure discomfort, not chase relief. You volunteer for the project nobody wants, confront the person others tiptoe around, declare what you believe, even when your voice shakes. You accept that sometimes you'll be alone, misunderstood, even disliked. That's the price men pay for being remembered. Women, by nature, will pull you towards safety. They do it to protect, to nurture, to ensure survival. They don't crave the unknown the way you do. And if you let that logic run your life, you'll trade your mission for her comfort, your calling for her calm. But real love, real respect, isn't born from endless accommodation. It's born from standing for something, even when it's unpopular. It's from being a man who sets his course, who chooses meaning over mood, who is willing to risk being hated for refusing to be ignored. You'll find that courage is a practice, not a personality trait. Each risk you take, however small, wakes up something ancient in you. You remember the boy who once wanted to be a hero. You give your future sons a map out of mediocrity. You become the standard by which others measure themselves. You may think this battle is only about you, your fulfillment, your risk, your refusal to live a quiet, safe life. But Otto Weininger saw further. The man who chases glory isn't just saving himself. He becomes a signal fire for everyone lost in the fog. When you stand up, when you take a risk, when you live with purpose, even if it costs you, you don't just change your own trajectory. You wake up something dormant in everyone around you. Most men never see this. They convince themselves that their smallness is harmless, that blending in is neutral, that silence is kindness. But mediocrity spreads. Safety is contagious. Each time you shrink, you give everyone around you permission to shrink as well. Your friends start to settle. Your brothers start to doubt. Even your woman begins to believe that strength is a myth and passion is dangerous. You become an anchor, but one that drags others down, not lifts them up. But when you choose glory, the script flips. You make courage contagious. When you speak an uncomfortable truth, other men find their voices. When you step out and risk failure, you give your sons a blueprint for real manhood. When you refuse to apologize for your hunger, your ambition, your willingness to stand out and stand alone, you give the men around you the freedom to do the same. Women, too, are changed by your courage. They may resist at first. Safety is a reflex, and risk will unsettle them. They may test you, pull back, even challenge your right to stand apart. But watch what happens when you refuse to fold. Respect grows, trust deepens. You become a man they can count on, a man they look to when the world turns chaotic, a man who offers not just comfort, but confidence in the face of fear. Every time you trade safety for glory, you make it easier for the next man to do the same. You challenge the cult of comfort that's turning the world grey and replace it with the colours of meaning, risk, and legacy. The impact is exponential. Brotherhood returns. Rivalry sharpens into respect. Weakness retreats, not just from you, but from the circles you lead. This is why the world needs men like you to stop shrinking. Your life is not just your own. Your courage is a gift you give without knowing it. A map, a dare, a new horizon for men who are still deciding if they'll wake up or sleepwalk through their years. Weininger was clear. Glory is not selfish, it's service. Every risk you take, every time you step out of the safety line, you help carve a future where men are allowed, no, expected, to matter. Let your pursuit of glory be the spark that sets a generation on fire. So here you are, standing at the crossroads that every real man faces but most will never acknowledge. The world is screaming at you to be careful, to sit down, to shrink back, to apologize for your ambition and mute your hunger until you're nothing but another safe face in a safe crowd. Otto Weininger knew this is not just an option you can choose to ignore. It's a force you must resist, day in, day out, if you want your life to mean anything. Because you already know what safety gives you, the days that vanish into each other, the relationships that never dig deep, the soft comfort that numbs your fire. Safety can protect your body, maybe, but it can never satisfy your soul. Glory is the price of meaning, and meaning is the price of peace. The more you run from it, the heavier you feel. The world wants you to believe that a man who risks, who dares, who dreams too loudly, is naive or broken. But every man who matters in history, every father you wish you had, every hero you wish you could be, chose the storm over the shelter. You can see it if you're honest. Men who risk, who sacrifice, who step forward when others freeze, these are the men who get remembered. Not always loved, not always celebrated in their time, but never forgotten. The smallness of safety is invisible. The largeness of glory leaves a trail behind you. Your grandfathers knew this, even if they couldn't name it. Your bones remember it, even if you're too busy to listen. You don't get one chance at this. You get 100 moments every single day to decide who you are. Will you say what needs saying when it might cost you? Will you choose a hard path when the easy road is waiting? Will you face the scorn, the misunderstanding, the loneliness that comes with refusing to disappear into the herd? That's the test. That's the path to glory. No, it's not safe. No, you won't always win, but you'll be alive. You'll know yourself. You'll be the kind of man others look to in the dark. And when your time is up, you'll leave behind something that can't be erased by comfort or cowardice. Your life will have been a signal fire, a standard, a dare to every man who follows. So if you're ready to stop dying for safety and start living for glory, say it. Drop your challenge in the comments. Subscribe if you refuse to fade into the background. Share this with a brother who's lost his edge, who needs to remember that safety is a prison and glory is the only real freedom left to a man. Enough with survival. Enough with apologizing for your hunger. Stand up, take the risk, live loud.